Good afternoon. The pump prices of petroleum products will continue to climb as local oil companies announced an increase of at least 2 pesos per liter effective Tuesday, September 19. The price of gasoline will rise by 2 pesos per liter and diesel by 2 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. The price of kerosene will likewise hike by 2 pesos per liter. This marks the 11th consecutive week of increases for diesel and kerosene and the 10th for gasoline. The Department of Energy Oil Industry Management Bureau explains the price hikes are still due mainly to the organization of the petroleum exporting countries' decision to extend voluntary production cuts until December this year. The Philippine Coast Guard confirms the severe damage brought about by, quote, deliberate activities in Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal, where Chinese vessels have been repeatedly called out for swarming and intruding. According to the PCG, it conducted extensive underwater surveys of the seabed in Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal from August 9 to September 11. The PCG says the underwater survey showed the marine ecosystem in the area, quote, appeared lifeless with minimal to no signs of life. Additionally, it reveals visible discoloration of the seabed in Escoda Shoal. The PCG says this indicates that deliberate activities may have been undertaken to modify the natural topography of the underwater terrain. According to the PCG, the presence of crushed corals also suggests, quote, a potential act of dumping, possibly involving the same dead corals that were previously processed and cleaned before being returned to the seabed. The PCG says the destruction of the marine environment in these areas may have been caused by the continued swarming and illegal fishing activities of the Chinese maritime militia. During the same period, the underwater surveys were conducted. The PCG monitored the presence of 33 Chinese maritime militia vessels in the vicinity of Rosul Reef and 15 in Escoda Shoal. The Western Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines earlier expressed suspicions that Chinese militia vessels have been harvesting corals from the West Philippine Sea. President Bongbong Marcos says he held a meeting with Singapore Prime Minister Hsien Loong during the Formula 1 Singapore Grand Prix 2023. Marcos discloses in a social media post that his discussions with Lee, quotes, have been promising, adding that the two countries can expect enhanced collaboration with multiple fronts to address common global challenges. He adds that they watched the F1 Grand Prix later that evening. Marcos went to Singapore for the 10th Asian Summit on September 13 and returned to the Philippines 4 days later on Sunday. The Department of Education announces that the pilot implementation of the revised K-10 curriculum will start on September 25 in 35 public schools from 7 regions. The test run will be conducted almost 1 month after the opening of classes on August 29, as the DepEd says it took some time to identify the participating schools. DepEd says 5 schools each were selected in 7 regions, including the National Capital Region. In Metro Manila, all pilot schools will come from the division of Malabon City. According to DepEd, the revised K-10 curriculum reduces the number of learning areas, allowing students to shift their focus to foundational skills. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. Fuel prices to increase by at least 2 pesos per liter on Tuesday. Philippine Coast Guard releases videos confirming extensive damage in the seabed of Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal, areas frequented by Chinese militia. And President Bongbong Marcos returns from Singapore. Marcos says he held a meeting with Singapore Prime Minister Hsien Loong during the Formula 1 Singapore Grand Prix 2023. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.